Alright, y'all. I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. This is take two. Y'all know we raw dogging emotions on this side. We raw dogging everything. We raw dogging trauma. We raw dogging our feelings. You feel me? I'm so glad that it's just like a small collective of y'all. It seems to be watching this, and I'm so glad because I really do these videos. Well, in part, I do these videos for me. I also know that it can help y'all. Moving on to the title of this video, which I don't know what it's gonna be. I wanted to kind of discuss with y'all about fear because I kind of touched on like attachment styles, or like at least what I felt like my realization was. So shout out to Dr. Roman. Oh, I don't even know if I told y'all, but if y'all not familiar with Hillman Talk, that's basically how I see it. Is it's a group of collective black excellence, doctors that's coming together to provide free college level courses to the public, basically, and then low key happened by accident. If you don't know how it happened, look into that. Search Dr. Barlow. Shout out to her and everybody else that's been doing this. This is huge. Anyway, Dr. Roman, he specifically is talking about psychotherapy and trauma healing. Soon as you know that keyword, you feel me? We big trauma buffs over here. Nah, bro, that's funny as hell. We locked in on that trauma, over here. You feel me? So, in all seriousness, no, his lesson, I watched his lesson 1 and lesson 2, and I was like, damn, he's basically, and I didn't even know this. He's breaking down like how a people pleaser and a narcissist is kind of like, it's basically one in which, well, it's two paths you can go. Like if you experience trauma as a child, you feel me? You can decide to step into your ego and like manipulate and do all these other things, or you can revert to like people pleasing. And he's just kind of talking about that experience and the pros and cons and what triggers that. And in the second lesson, he kind of touched on fear. And that's what I kind of want to talk to you about, because this is something that I think we all experience to a certain degree and in different levels. It's so funny to me. The reason why I wanted to talk to you about fear is because I think it's important to acknowledge it in all aspects of your life. Like, also not trying to compensate. I'll give you an example. When in my life, right, I don't feel like I'm a fearful person. My whole life I've been taking risks, quote unquote. And the reason why I put it in quotes is because it's not really a risk for me. But I feel like for most people it'd be a risk, like I spoke about it before, like just moving across country, doing all these things, and it don't feel like a risk for me. I don't necessarily feel fear like in these moments, even in moments of crisis. What I do notice is when it comes to other things like building relationships, like deeply rooted relationships, which is one in which I crave, you feel me? That's where like the fear comes in and where I notice it the most. You feel me? Like I'm not really an anxious person or anything like that. When it comes to that is where I'm fear. And then where I meant, like, I know I'm kind of all over the place. What I meant by the compensating, I would use these other outlets to compensate. So, for example, I know that I could move out of the country right now. Like, I could decide, you know what, I want to start doing my business out the country, or I want to start doing it, whatever the case may be. Point is, I could do that. I could move across country. I could start from zero again, and I'd be cool with. Well, I wouldn't say be cool with that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it would be no fear to do that. You feel me? When it comes to like allowing somebody to peel back those layers of who I am and to let somebody truly enter my space, there's fear there. I'm not gonna lie to you. And that's something that I know where it comes from. It comes from like childhood trauma, like not really feel like I've been seen, you feel me? Not feeling like what I have to say holds any value, and etc. etc. I could go on and on with that one. The point is that it comes from a past experience, and he kind of touches on that, like, because all emotions are, to me, like how I interpret it is like, or what I'm learning is that these memories, and I think that's what I kind of want to read on next, is just like how we process information, like a book on whatever that would be. These memories are just us literally reliving those moments, and then there's a chemical inside of us releasing to affirm that. You get what I'm saying? So let's say you look at a picture of a grandparent that passed and it reminds you of a great memory, like your most fond memory of them. Then because you feel that emotion so strongly, there's a chemical, whether it be good or bad, that's released to reaffirm that emotion to you. So it just basically becomes what's the word? I don't know why I was about to say tradition. Gil, like not tradition. It becomes and I bet y'all like me. I be talking so much shit. I be looking at, when you watching people on TV or YouTube and they trying to say something, the word, it's like, yo, it's that word. Anyway. But it just becomes like this repetition of like you reaffirming these emotions. So it's about like when you have, and he goes into further detail about like just when you go deeper into that bag, like it can really affect you. Like the reason why some people hurt themselves or whatever is just because you're going deeper into reaffirming that belief. You feel me? And it all comes back to belief systems. So I say all that to say, like, if you're experiencing like fear in any aspect of your life, not one is better than the other. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that's kind of how I was interpreting it and kind of accepting that, because I was like, yo, I could do all these things. I could get some money, go move across the country, be doing all these great things, give it all away, then start from scratch and build something else even greater. Like, you feel me? I was using all these things, but I also, like, in those aspects of my life, if I'm being honest with myself, those are things that I crave. Like, and it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say that I need, these are just things that I desire to have in my life. And that's just with all relationships, whether it be platonic or romantic, you feel me? Like, in the part two, usually this supposed to be raw dong and uncut, bro. The last video, anyway. Let's continue. I wanted to get back on track. So last thing I had mentioned was fear and confidence, and how that's what's been on my mind, hence this video. So going into the confidence aspect, I feel like I was saying before with the risk, and I was talking about I could start this and that. You feel me? I have the utmost confidence in myself in pretty much every area. You get what I'm saying? I feel like I can do whatever it is I want, whatever it is I desire, because I have proof of that. You feel me? I've built that rapport with myself. I have reputation. I built that reputation with myself to be able to confidently stand on that, and that's also just who I am. And now, speaking how I was speaking earlier, is how sometimes you use that to compensate in other areas. I don't necessarily feel that same way when it comes to relationships. You get what I'm saying? And developing those to the point where I remove myself from those. You feel me? And I think I kind of talked about it in the last video. I just use things as a shield or a barrier. Oh, well, I'm working on my business. I'm doing this. And these are all accurate things. I am doing all these things. It's also a way for me to shield myself from that fear of just developing that deep connection that I crave because of everything that happened when I was younger. You feel me? Because the lack of, you feel me, being seen, or some of the things that I mentioned earlier, and so much more things. And I think the best remedy to do is just fear, just to tackle that head on. And it's easier said than done. What's been in my mind a lot lately too, I saw a video that has stuck with me, and a practice that I didn't even know was a thing. Makes sense. Rejection therapy. So if you have never seen that, it's basically you just doing things that makes you cringe. So I'll give you an example. I saw a video of a girl. She was laying down on the sidewalk. You feel me? And I think it was her friend. It was kind of set up where it was like the girl didn't know her, but I think it was her friend. And she came over. She's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm practicing rejection therapy. I'm just laying on it," because she was reading a book, and she was just laying on the ground while people were just walking by. And then the girl ended up joining her, whatever the case may be. Ever since I heard that term and I seen a couple videos on it and I saw that video, it always stuck with me. You get what I'm saying? Even when I go out, I think, yo, just practice that. You feel me? What does that look like for you? So right now, what that looks like for me is just speaking to people. And I feel like I've been doing better at that. Or just giving that energy if I'm open. Because if you see me in person, my face might look like I'm the angriest person in the world. But I promise you I'm not. I just literally I'm just not expressing my face because I just feel like it expends energy. That's not me. You feel me? I don't naturally just be like uppity. It's in my face. The energy is right. Say all that to say that's what that looks like for me. And the biggest where I say I really started to notice a shift was it last year? I want to say it was last year. I don't know when. It was last year. They had this event for clothing and stuff like that. And I found out about it, I think, through my friend, or it just popped up. And I attended the event, and they had a little space where you could connect and network with people, right? And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna just go in the area. Yo, why wouldn't I tell you? I went in the area, right? I was there for a minute. That it was packed. I didn't even really go inside yet. I was just like there, and then one girl, she came up to me and spoke to me, and we had a good conversation. I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. So then I just went up to the next person and the next person. Bro, I spoke to so many people. For me, it was so many people. It had to be 10 plus people, and it felt so good. That's what I noticed. And I think that circles back to the rejection therapy. It just felt so good. Fast forward, right? I was having a conversation with somebody, and the conversation that person, it was two people that did this actually. I was having a conversation with somebody and it happened at the same time. I was having a conversation with somebody and another, I was going around the room, so another person that I had spoke to, they brought somebody to me that they felt like I would connect with and I aligned with, and then somebody else did that again the same time it was happening, and I was just like, yo, you feel me? And the reason why I was so caught off guard is because, and I'm gonna leave it on this, is because when I was talking about the fear and all of that, I also didn't realize how much of an impact I had on people's lives. You get what I'm saying? I never thought that in a sense that I was memorable. I felt like I am. I didn't think other people saw me like that. I didn't think other people, if I was to disappear, I thought people would do their thing regardless. I just thought that it was like nobody would really, like, I didn't really leave lasting impact on people's lives. You feel me? And another thing I'll say that made me think about, really reminded me that, wow, we really, you never know, was another situation when I had removed myself from people that I was friends with for years to just go through the self-discovery process and all those things. I had went back and had a conversation with one of my friends a year later, and he was just letting me know, nah, like, your present, we were like, I was angry and a lot of us was angry because you just basically explaining that my presence was felt. The fact that I left, it did impact them. You get what I'm saying? And I thought that they wouldn't care. You feel me? And I think that's also why I'm able to detach outside of being an Aquarius. That's why I'm able to detach so easily, because I also didn't think that I leave an impact on people's lives like that. You feel me? I don't really, unless you're really close to me, I don't feel like you do. And even then, I'm kind of iffy because I don't speak much. You feel me? I only really say something if something's on my heart or if I feel like I need to say something. And in brief interactions, 9 times out of 10, unless it's one of those rare connections where you just hit it off with people, I don't really like, I don't know, I don't really just start talking. And that goes back to the fear too of being seen, bro, because sometimes I feel like, oh, I need to not talk too much in this situation. I need to, maybe people don't care about this, maybe don't care about that. And I just basically, I built this narrative, how we was talking about earlier, this belief that this people, that I don't leave an impact on people's life, that people don't care. All these things you're telling yourself in your head, and you're reaffirming this belief not only chemically to yourself. Think about when you embody the energy of anything else, any energy you desire to experience, when you embody that, that's what you experience. You get what I'm saying? And I like to say, I was embodying the fear of being seen. I was embodying the fear of being heard. I was feeling like when I did speak up, it held no value. I've had so many experiences that showed me otherwise. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think it's this fear and all that stuff comes from obviously childhood trauma. For me, unpacking that was like, it came from all of these things that wasn't when you were a child, and it's like you're not a child anymore. You get what I'm saying? And I want to shout out Dr. Roman again, because a lot of the things you may know and a lot of things you may not know, and sometimes you just need somebody to put the pieces together. And I feel like the way he described it, and then just me also self-reflecting, it was like, wow, you're not in that place no more. You feel me? And I think it's important to internalize that, because if not, you're gonna constantly be recreating that life for yourself. You feel me? And I think that really helped me realize, yo, because I've been big on, I would say last year, and just since I moved out in general, I've really been having this thing where I want to step out into the unknown. And the unknown for me are the relationship aspects. It's not taking risks, starting a business, taking a vacation, moving out the country, moving across country, do any type of spontaneous thing like that. No, it's more so my spontaneous and my taking risk are with people. You get what I'm saying? It's more so being able to connect and be so comfortable in my skin and being confident in who I am and just allowing that to be. You feel me? Not feeling like I need to water myself down for the other person or to be accepted in this situation. You feel me? And I felt like I did it in some ways. In some ways, I definitely didn't do it. There's other ways where I feel like I did. And my job, what I'm going to focus on this year is just doing that work. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like even before I decide, or if I decide to find a partner, give me a little, you feel me, give me a joint, I feel like there's still some work that I gotta do. You get what I'm saying? There's still some things, there's always gonna be something. There's never the perfect time. There's never this perfect moment. But I feel like there's certain things that I would like to stand by myself a little bit more. Just build secure attachment styles. Not that I feel like I have unhealthy. If I really desired to be in a situation right now, I could. It's like there's just certain things that I would like to do. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave y'all with that because this is one of the long videos, and I told you I wasn't gonna edit these, which I don't. I just take out the fillers. I go on CapCut, I do the transcript and all of that. I'm gonna link Dr. Romans if I don't forget. I'm gonna at least put a picture of his TikTok up here. If y'all want to touch on certain topics, feel free to comment below. I'll pick which ones resonate with me the most because these videos are coming out. I'm not forcing them. I don't have a schedule. I just started posting back on my channel. So if you want to hear Trauma Talks with K, that might be what I call this. Trauma Talks with K. If you here for the trauma, if you here for the healing, you feel me? Pull up a beach chair and right. You feel me? That being said, I appreciate y'all coming to my little corner of the internet. And I'm going to chop it up with y'all next time. This mic is clean.